The future direction for gold could hinge on 2025 today, so we'll have all the details in today's video. We'll talk about key levels and targets, and I'll also give you guys an update on the US dollar, the DXY. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in here looking at the daily time frame for gold. Now, what you're going to first notice here is that we have a trend line off of this November 10th closing price down here. So you can see we've got these lows through this area. We've got this low right here. And so far this week, we did get a breakdown, and yesterday came very close to reclaiming that level. However, it did stop just short of doing that. Furthermore, you can see these lows right back here that are currently serving as resistance here on the daily time frame. Okay, so as of right now, we do have this area right around 2025, which is currently being tested right now. Gold is currently trading right at that 2025 mark, and you can see where we have a potential rejection candle setting up. However, the daily close is going to be key. Now, I will be the first one to tell you that anytime you get an immediate retest like this, you do have to be a little bit careful, just because this could signal a fake out where if gold closes back up here, that could be a sign of strength, right? Give us a little fake out of this trend line and expose levels like 2060 and potentially that 2075 macro resistance. Now, let me show you what I did earlier this morning. And if you guys are enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out, including tomorrow's forecast video. So I will be putting out a forecast video tomorrow talking about 5 different markets for the week ahead. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. All right, so right now we know that gold is kind of selling off here from the high. Now let's talk about that for a moment, because this was significant as well. And the reason that was significant is that if you look here, all right, from this high right up here. So if we draw out our fibs from this high up here, what you're going to notice is that gold tested perfectly the 618 of this recent decline. Okay, so you can see here from this high up here down here to the recent low, this was the 618 retest. Now, I talked about this in the VIP group and also shared with members my short here for gold at 2038. So I caught this very close to the top, and when I shared that, it was 2035. So, just to let you guys know, I didn't announce it after the fact. I share with members in the VIP group what I'm doing in real time. And if you want to join us in VIP for exclusive setups and also to see my trades in real time, just like this one here today, see the link at the top of this video for 70% off lifetime access. Okay, so I'm in this one here from 2038. And this is a case where if we were to see gold travel back up here toward the highs today, then I would go ahead and cut the position. So I'm not going to let this go negative at this point going into the weekend. I want to see some follow through here, and ideally I want to see it close back within yesterday's range. If it does that, then even though we had an immediate retest of this level, technically this trend line is still holding up on a daily closing basis. And that leaves areas like 1975 and 1930 exposed. Now, one reason that I was getting short here, apart from this being a 618 retest like I just showed you, was the fact that if you look here at the recent years here for gold, and we've talked about this before, but even though the market is looking overall, pretty bullish, it is still just a range-bound market. If you just draw a rectangle here across the last couple of years, it's pretty clear to see that this is just one big range. So anybody buying up here, in my opinion, you are just buying into a macro resistance that dates all the way back here to 2020, right? So that's not a great idea. Now, I'm not saying that gold is going to come all the way back down here toward these lows, right? Or even these down here, or even this one around 1800 for that matter. But I do think though, that given this range here, and also given the fact that we do have some imbalances that have built up during this recent rally, then I do think, if we get the setup and the market closes below 2025 today, right, this week, then I do think there is that chance that we get a move back down here toward levels like 1975 and 1930, and potentially even down here in this region to retest some of these lows back here, because I've talked about it before, but notice this big green candle here, this breakout candle, we got a very shallow retracement of that candle. So there is bound to be a lot of sell side liquidity down here in this region. And again, I'm not saying that gold will go there, because this is going to be a level by level market. What matters is where today and this week closes. Below 2025 in a convincing manner, then this area is serving as resistance, and it exposes these lower levels here for next week. If we get, like I said, if we get a close up here though, up here in this region, okay, then this down here is a little fake out, and we could get a run back here toward levels like 2060 and potentially 2075. All right, so level by level market for now here for gold. Nothing confirmed as of yet, although the short from 2038 is nicely in profit now. So we'll see where this goes. This is a risk-free trade for me. So if we do get follow through, then I will look to add to it next week. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the DXY here, the US dollar, because an analysis on gold would not be complete without looking at the US dollar. So the two tend to move inversely to one another. And right now, what we've talked about for the DXY is still holding. And that is that so far this year, we've had a reclaim of 101.90. All right, so this area back here, this is why I was getting cautiously bullish on the dollar as soon as we got this close right here. So throughout this entire consolidation, I was cautiously bullish on the dollar. And so far, we've also had a reclaim of 102.60. All right, so this area going back here at 102.60 has now been flipped to support. Furthermore, 103.10. I talked about this one yesterday, but notice how we have these lows back here. We've also got this high. Notice where yesterday tested. All right, that low was right there at 103.15, so very close to that 103.10 level. Okay, now this area up here at 103.50, this is the 2023 open. And furthermore, this might be a little bit hard to tell with all the levels, but look at the 12-month time frame. So each candle on here is 1 year. And what you're going to notice is that 103.50 is incredibly significant for the DXY, right? So this is going to be a huge level, and this is why we've seen the DXY just go sideways here for the past few days, right? This is a significant area, as is 104.20, because like I've said recently, this up here, 103.50, that's that 12-month resistance we just looked at. And 104.20, these highs back here, this is what will be critical for the DXY to take out in order to change the structure here since October from bearish to bullish. Okay, it would have to reclaim this area up here on the higher time frames in order to change the structure. Okay, so this is going to be something to watch too, because if we get the DXY confirming next week, it doesn't look like we'll get it today, but if we see it confirming next week with multiple daily closes up here above 103.50, and at the same time XAUUSD is breaking lower, then that could be some nice confluence there for a short on gold. Now, on the flip side though, if we're seeing the DXY start to break down, especially below this low down here, then that could be bullish for gold, especially if gold is trading above 2025. All right, before the DXY though, this is a minor support through here. Really, 102.60 is going to be the must-hold level for bulls. If this were to break down over the coming days, if we see the DXY trade down here, that would be bearish for the dollar, likely bullish for gold. All right, it doesn't have to be that way. Gold and the dollar can trade together at some points, but for the most part, they are inversely correlated. Okay, so just wrapping up here with gold, guys. Once again, we are seeing the market trade right there at 2025 today. It's still there as I make this video. So we'll see how the day closes. Really, this is going to be something where you need a convincing close down here in this region to suggest that this is holding, right? And give us that rejection from this area, or something convincing up here. If the market closes at, 2023 or 2027, something like that, in my opinion, that's not going to give us enough to go on here with regard to this trend line from November. All right, so one to watch for next week. Keep an eye on those levels for gold, as well as those key levels that we discussed for the DXY. All right, that's it for today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss tomorrow's forecast, and also show your support, smash the like button, and leave your comment below. Don't forget to claim your 70% off lifetime access to VIP. See the link in the description of this video. Have a great start to the weekend, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow in the weekly forecast.